some of you may know, as some of you may not. Actually know what, I think some of you may not know, I'm 17, but I think I've mentioned that in my previous videos and even in a comment. Anyways, I've been seeing this thing of like, for like literally for years on end, of like, okay, 24 lessons I learned by 24 and all of these things, and I was just like, oh, I kind of want to do my own, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. So don't forget to follow all of my socials, and don't forget to follow my Instagram, and all of my socials will be linked down below. And without further ado, let's get into the video. First lesson that I learned is that being a victim keeps you so small. Like, there's nothing that keeps you small like being a goddamn victim. I promise you. You can acknowledge your trauma, but that doesn't mean that you have to identify as your trauma. That doesn't mean that you have to live your life out like you're a traumatic or you're a child that has experienced an immense amount of trauma. And like, we get it, but life kind of goes on. It does. Not even kind of, it does. Your trauma can't be your identity. You can recognize your suffering and you can turn it into something. You can be an alchemist and just turn it into something. All your emotions and all your experiences, turn them into something. Do something about them. Number two, which was, I think, like a slap in the face for me, because I think for all my life, I just kind of thought the opposite. And that is, you're responsible for the way that your life is. And I think the reason why this was such a slap in my face, because it's like I was remembering instances where it was just like crap after crap after crap and just hurdle after hurdle after hurdle, and I was just like, damn, I'm responsible for all of that. And I was just asking myself, like, what? That doesn't even make any sense. Like, it's circumstances, it's life, it happens and stuff like that. But it's like, no, as of recently, I've like discovered that you can be the cause of your own misery, and it can be deliberate, and it can be something that you didn't even want to do on purpose. And sometimes we are unaware of these things, and I think that we should be more aware of these things. And it's like, because the thing is, if we're not, we're gonna blame other people for the way that things turned out, for the fallouts that we've had, for the relationships that we've lost and whatever, and that's never going to get you anywhere. Your actions and your behavior are massive contributing factors to the way that your life is right now. Number three, being okay with being single is one of the greatest things that can happen to you. Like, once you clock that being single isn't that bad, and I don't need to be in a relationship after relationship, and my main focus is not to be in a relationship, and I can actually be fine on my own. Heaven. Like, it's so amazing, it's so fulfilling, because you will never find fulfillment in the lack of thinking that you're in lack because you don't have a relationship, and that by being in a relationship you're gonna find some sort of fulfillment. That's just the lie that you tell yourself to make you feel better about yourself, and you know that it's not true. That's a lie that you tell yourself in order to reinforce the belief that you need a relationship. You're just lying to yourself because that's what you want to believe. And you know what? If that's the way that you want to live your life, you're going to have a crappy life. I'm sorry to tell you, sorry to break it to you, but your main focus can never just be wanting to be in a relationship. Like, literally, there's better things, and there's better things than just having a relationship. You have goals to achieve, you have all of these things, and it's just like, don't you appreciate that? Like, at least appreciate that before you want to step into that relationship. At least experience life and explore it for yourself before doing all of that. Four, which is literally kind of links with what I just said, and that is, relationships are not endgame. They are not endgame, okay? They are not endgame. Being in a relationship should never be someone's purpose. I think that is absolutely absurd, and it's insane, and it's just wrong. That's just my opinion though. Don't attack me. I've said this 100 times before, literally even off camera, and that is like, your life doesn't end when you have a relationship. As you can see, a lot of other people, like, it ends in fairy tales and everything, like the movie just ends in it. But in your life, it doesn't. It keeps things. There's obstacles that you still have to overcome, things that you have to learn now, obstacles that you have to overcome with that person, and all of those things. And it's just like, clock that. Number 5, staying when it's not good for you will never benefit you. Staying in something that is not sensible and is unhealthy and is toxic has never been good for anyone, and it never will be. Staying because you think the situation is going to change, thinking that that person is going to change, thinking that it's going to get better, is just a lie that you tell yourself in order to make you sleep at night. That is an absolute lie, and you know it. You and I, we both know it. You're just hoping that there will be some change so that it can give you another reason to stay, because you just need one reason. You just need them to lie to you one more time. You just need them to say one more thing or do one more thing in order to make you stay, so that you can use that as like, oh, okay, it's getting better, they are getting better. Girl, boy. Lesson number 6, there was this so I'm currently reading the Daily Stoic, and it's like, obviously you read it every single day, and I read this on, I think, let's see, I read this on March 15th, and it's about being present. Basically, it's called The Present is All We Possess, and I'm gonna put it over here. I'm gonna put the image on the screen over here so you guys can see and read it for yourselves. And basically what I learned for me personally about being present, because I was always a person who was stuck in their past or their future. Like, it was never an in-between, and it should always be an in-between, I think, so that you don't take your present for granted. You know, being present is the best gift that you could give to yourself, because the thing is, you will never be able to experience this thing yourself. Like, you will never be able to experience it again. And thinking about your past, which is no longer it's non-existent anymore, like, come on. And then now looking at your future, it's like that is gonna come in any case. And it's like, even the plans that you have for your future, even the way that you're sort of like visualizing it, it's not completely wrong, but it could go in a completely different direction. It could go even way better, you know, you never know. Another lesson that I learned is that nothing lasts forever. Nothing, absolutely nothing. Those relationships, those bad experiences that you wish the ground would literally swallow you, it doesn't last forever. It's literally just temporary. I think in some way that's both comforting and sad. I think it's sad to think about, okay, some things are just gonna end, and those things are very good things and things that you value. With some things, it's like, I'm glad this is not gonna last forever. I'm glad this is temporary. I'm glad that I'm gonna be able to move on without constantly like replaying this moment in my head over and over and over, and people are not going to remember this, and it's just going to be a memory. So I think with nothing lasts forever, it's always like a thing of me saying that enjoy everything like right now while it lasts, while you still have it, basically. And all of the fallouts and the failed relationships that you had, stop stressing over that, because it didn't last. It was temporary. It helped you even reach a certain point in your life right now, and you know, yeah, don't let it stress you out, because it's going to be gone either ways. It's going to be gone and forgotten. Lesson number 8, sometimes you are the problem. It doesn't mean that you're the problem in everything in your life, but trust me, there's certain relationships, certain experiences, situations, friendships where you have been the problem. You were the cause of that fallout that you probably didn't even know back then, but you kind of clocked that you contributed to that downfall. You tolerated certain things, you enabled certain things, and you were just the problem. And that was something that I also clocked about myself, I think about a month ago. And there's nothing wrong with that, because with that comes learning. You're able to learn from that, and you get. The thing that I've learned is that no matter how much you grow, you're going to keep on making mistakes. I think one thing that a lot of people get twisted is that once you've healed, once you've reached a certain point, once you love yourself, once you all of these things, it's like everything's gonna stop and it's just gonna be roses, sunshine, and so I'm like, you know, like, I think what a lot of people, and then think that your life is just gonna be all good. Oh right, I was saying that you thinking that your life is going to be all great and everything, and that nothing is gonna happen to you. You're gonna overcome. Like, there's no obstacles that you're gonna have to overcome. No, there's gonna be many others, and it's just the way of life. Like, it doesn't end with just healing. Like, you know, you're not ever fully healed, because there's other things that you're gonna experience today that you're gonna have to heal from tomorrow. And I think another thing with you'll keep on making mistakes is, besides the obstacles and everything, you're gonna keep making mistakes, as in you sometimes being the problem in certain situations. Because I think that we think that, okay, we're self-aware and all of these things, we still have to remember that we're still human, and we're still gonna be at fault for so many things. And sometimes we may be harsh on ourselves, especially maybe if we've done a lot of work on ourselves. We may be very harsh on ourselves and think that, but I know better than this and I know how to do better, but like, why is this happening to me? You're human. You're gonna learn from this experience. It's a learning, it's a journey. It won't suddenly stop. Whether you hurt these people deliberately or not, it's never gonna stop. You're just gonna continue to learn. It's never going to stop. All you need to do is just keep on going and just learn from them, and then be able to handle those other situations a way lot better. Another thing that I've learned, and I think this has also been like one that like I really had to like, it really had to sink in for me, and that is, you're never going to be able to heal, or you're never going to be able to move on without forgiving. I think growing up is realizing that forgiving, it's not for the benefit of the other person. It's not about forgetting and whatever. It's just about coming to peace with that person and that situation, and just all of that weight off your shoulders. Because forgiving is it, yes, it is about that person and the situation as well, but it's also about being free from that burden of carrying all of that weight as well. Because being avoidant, or having that avoidant attachment or whatever, being avoidant will never help. It will never fix it. Avoiding the situation will never help you move on or heal from it. Temporary, it can work on a temporary type of thing, but for long term, it will creep back into your relationships and into your life, and all of these experiences that you think it wouldn't, it will. Another thing that I've learned is that your new life will cost you your old one. There's gonna be sacrifices that you're gonna have to make. You're gonna have to step out, way out of your comfort zone, in order to be the person that you want to be in this new life. You have to realize that you're not used to having this new life, and you're going to be tested. For example, I think like even people who are so used to that thrill of having these toxic, unhealthy relationships that a lot of people romanticize, a lot of those people, they are not going to be used to being at peace. They're not going to be used to having healthy relationships, and it's going to be very odd for them, and it's not going to be a situation where they want to really be in something. They're not used to it, and because now maybe they don't like it, they want to go back to the things that the way that things used to be, and it'll go back to that situation, and then they will never grow. So realizing that your new life will cost you your old one is a decision that you have to make, and you have to be ready for it. Another thing is that you don't have to communicate, you don't have to keep contact with those family members that are of no use to you and just treat you badly probably all your life. You don't have to be in contact with those family members. You know exactly who I'm talking about. All of those people who just brought you misfortune your entire life, who have made you suffer, who have made you question yourself and feel bad about yourself. You don't have to. You don't have to deal with that anymore. You don't have to suffer because of that. If it's for your peace and your own sanity, then why the hell not? Because at the end of the day, your mental and your emotional state is the one that's at risk right now. And are you going to be willing to compromise that just for the sake of having contact, keeping contact with a family member who couldn't care less about you than just to make you suffer? Because the thing with family, yeah, because people like to play the thing and just play the card of like, oh, but they're your family. Then why would they want to treat you like that? You know what I mean? And my thing is, people need to realize that this is not the movies. This is not Netflix. If you guys get the reference. If you don't, it's fine. This is not the movies where you can rekindle within an instant and it just happens within literally 10 minutes of like different scenes and everything. No, it's real life, real trauma and real experiences. It's not easy, and a lot of people will claim to understand, but it's like, if you've never been in the situation of that person, then how the hell do you understand? Maybe you can empathize with them and everything. You don't understand the situation and why they are the way that they are. You don't know what they went through. So for you to be the first person that's gonna say, oh, but it's your family, da 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 da, if you don't know anything about that, if you've never been through what that person's been through, then it's best to just, because you don't know what they had to endure with their family. Another thing that I've learned, another lesson, this one was like also a slap in the face, and that is, you're replaceable. Like, genuinely, you're replaceable. For some people, yeah, people think that, oh, I'll never be able to forget this person, and okay, maybe that's valid, because you always have those instances where that person just pops up in your head, maybe like once in a blue moon. And people sometimes look at it the wrong way, and it's like, if you say someone is replaceable, it's a bad thing. But it's not, though, because those experiences with that person turns into memories, and if you're constantly going to be holding on to that, how are you ever going to move on? And if you're going to constantly have this thing of like, they're irreplaceable, you're never going to fully immerse yourself into something else that could be very much good for you. I think, you know, a lot of us thought that some people in our lives would be there for a lifetime, and that didn't turn out to be the case. And that person is now a memory. Now they're in a different environment, experiencing something that is completely different from what you guys had planned together with different people, but they're happy. They're happy with those people. And it's not to say that you weren't of any significance to that person. Absolutely not. Like, you definitely taught them something, and vice versa. But it's just like a thing of like, don't ever think that you're so good and you're so irreplaceable, because that person will show you that you are replaceable. Because also, life goes on with or without you. That person is still gonna smile with or without you, even though you thought that that wouldn't be the case with that person. Another thing is that your attention is where your future lies. The things that you're paying attention to right now, the things that you're prioritizing, it is exactly where your future is going to go. If your focus is like somewhere that is further than what you want for your future reality, then you need to shift your priorities and then shift your attention. Another thing is that pain is inevitable. I think a lot of people try to avoid it. I think a lot of people try to run away from it, but it's like, it's a human experience, a universal experience that everybody needs to experience, and it's a necessity. And it's like, you're not going to grow and progress if it's not for that pain that you're going to feel. You know, it's necessary, it's a requirement. It's like your first heartbreak, you need to experience that. Another thing is, God's plan is way bigger than your plan. Like, genuinely, like, it's not to say don't have a plan, because having a plan is literally one of the best things that you can do, because without it, then I genuinely, if I didn't have plans for even like my daily routine, like my weekly, monthly, whatever, where would I be? I wouldn't, this whole YouTube thing, it wouldn't even be there. Another thing that I learned, actually, I don't know if I included this in, but it's when I realized that sensitivity is not equivalent to being weak. I think my entire life I thought that me being sensitive was just me being weak, but it's not. It's absolutely not. And I found my people. Like, I've literally found people on TikTok who literally think the same, and I'm just like, oh, okay, besties. Because I hate people who would literally make you feel like you're just weak and you can't stand on your own just because you're sensitive. Like, no. Like, no. I'm just able to actually express myself and be honest about the way that I am, unlike somebody else who tries to hide their emotions because they think they're gonna be weak for that. Like, let's be real. Who's the real weaker person right now? The one who doesn't express it, or the one who actually does express it and learn from it? Last but not least, I wanted to end this off with the first YouTube video that I started with. It wasn't an actual video, but it was like an episode when it was on the audio version, when this whole thing was on the audio version, and that was me saying that outgrowing people is perfectly okay. That is, outgrowing people is an absolute gift. It's one of the best things that can happen to you. You think that you don't need it, and you think that things have come to an end in your life right now, but these people that you're outgrowing right now is like the best thing that could ever happen to you. Like, genuinely, you wouldn't want to ask for anything more. And with that being said, you guys have come to the end of the video. I'm so tired. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about the intro and the outro, by the way, if you guys have any thoughts on that. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one.